Hey, is the stream on
You're
this fixed
listening
now?
to
Yeah,
Inside
it is.
Real
Okay.
Estate, where we go deep into the minds of real estate professionals. Here are your hosts,
1.
Paul and Sal.
What's up, everyone? We do not have Sal in the studio today. He's busy. He's doing a closing. We do have Brad Weisgerber. We also have Mr. Tony Raffin. You're kind of a regular now.
Wow. I like being a regular.
Tony helped me out. I helped him out. He's helping me out. We had a cancellation, rescheduled. Today's kind of crazy.
We're never at a lack for words, so
No,
don't worry about it. So
no.
it's no big deal.
So some house cleaning real quick. Please check us out on iTunes. Look us up on the Podcast Detroit app. Go to our Facebook page at Omega Lending.
Google Play.
I do want to announce that September 4th, we're doing a lunch and learn with a social media expert at the Hopcat in Royal Oak.
I want to go.
You should go.
Can you give me tickets?
There's no tickets, man.
Really?
Just show up.
Free?
Yeah, it's
just
free.
Are you giving me lunch too?
You got to pay for lunch.
Oh, okay.
But I'm bringing a guy.
Oh,
It'll be good.
You got a guy.
He's a social media guru. It's gonna be a great thing. We're gonna have a whole bunch of agents, loan officers, gonna be industry professionals there. It's really gonna build people's network. So if you're in the area or thinking about getting lunch that day, you might as well learn something while you eat.
Plus, the venue's pretty kick-ass.
Yeah, it's a kick-ass venue.
September 4th, what time?
11:30.
I got a doctor's appointment.
Just reschedule it. Who cares? You're healthy. Look at you. You're like an ox.
Oh, right. I am an ox. It's got nothing to do with it.
So obviously today's kind of a ragtag show, but I wanted to we always do a show. You got to do the show, right, Tony? The
Yep,
show must
absolutely.
go on.
Show must go on.
A few things I want to talk about today. Mortgage applications are down across the country. For us, that's something that I might want to talk about a little bit and kind of get into. The real estate market is also cooling off, and I want to talk about that, which I think is healthy, and I'll tell you why I think that's healthy. And I want to play 3 questions with you, Mr. Tony Raffin. We're gonna play 3 questions.
Okay.
I'm gonna pose 3. Talking to the mic, man. Like you act like it's your first rodeo.
I didn't say anything. I was just.
You look good. What have you been going on? Are those, what cup size is that?
I don't know. I don't know.
So
You just keep looking, baby. Watch his weight peel off
So,
of me.
I would introduce Tony, but you've been on the show a bunch of times. But you are a great.
No
real
need,
estate
no
agent.
introduction.
I don't need to edify you any more than you already edify yourself. So, just so everybody knows, I don't know if I've ever really properly introduced Brad. Brad Weisgerber basically runs our business at Omega Lending. He does a lot of crazy stuff that I couldn't do. So I want to say I appreciate you.
I would say he's chief technical officer.
He does everything.
Chief
man.
operating officer.
He's like the rover. He'll
He's
do
the
anything.
chief officer.
Yeah, he does
Yeah.
everything. I couldn't do anything without him.
He's
So,
the chief.
We appreciate you, buddy.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate you, too.
So let's start with talking about mortgage applications and the market cooling off. So a lot of people have this doom and gloom that the market's going to crash
No.
because they think there's an echo effect from what happened in 2008.
No,
right?
that was the first time we had a crash in 2008 in Michigan. They've crashed, and
Yeah.
California's gone up and down several times, but our values have never gone that crazy. So knowing that we came out of a crash and knowing that the restrictions on lending were
It's very strict.
very, very strict. Basically, if you're losing a house, you're losing your firstborn.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty bad.
Yeah.
I don't see foreclosures increasing.
To that level?
Not even
No.
close.
No, not even close.
There's way too many systems that are in place. They haven't. What do you call it? You know how history repeats itself?
Yeah.
Because probably in the next 20 years, they'll forget about what happened, and then they'll start giving people loans again for fogging a mirror, and then this.
That's my fear. I don't want it to do that
Well,
again.
it's not going to happen right now, but it'll happen in your lifetime. You're young enough. For me, I doubt it'll happen in my lifetime. Work.
Dude, you got another 50 years at least.
I hope so. Then,
Yeah, don't do that.
Yeah,
Don't do that.
I'm not
You're gonna be
trying,
great.
but I don't.
That'd be great.
Give me a kiss. I love you. No, I don't see it happening in the next 10 to 15
dude.
years at all. Not
So,
a question.
so there's a big faction of people out there that are sitting on the sidelines that haven't invested. We've talked about this before in the past, but look, here's the reality of what's happening right now, people. The reality is we're back to being seasonal. Congratulations.
It's a normal market.
It's the fall. It's the winter. Things are going to slow down.
Kevin and I just talked about this on our podcast just before this.
It's seasonal.
We're a normal seasonal. Now it's slow down. Right after Labor Day weekend, it's going to hop up again for a couple months, and then it'll slow down. This is when realtors should take their vacations, right during Christmas and New Year's. The only good thing about Christmas and New Year's is this. The buyers that are out there are serious as hell. They are buying. We need to buy because nobody wants to move in the middle of the winter.
No, but
You find better deals.
if you're a buyer in a market that's been very, very hard on the buyers for 2 years now.
Correct.
right? They have, there hasn't been sellers concessions happening that much.
No.
There's been multiple negotiations, appraisal. It happened overnight. We were talking about how to get an offer accepted and how to get real creative 3 months ago.
Right.
Now we're talking about, well, you got some leverage all of a sudden.
Correct.
Right. So use that to your advantage, right? Buyers, like if you thought about buying and didn't buy, and this is a good opportunity. Rates are low.
It's probably the best opportunity.
Best opportunity we've had in 3 years.
We talk about it all the time how any change to the norm or any change to what people are comfortable with causes an overreaction.
It's just like the stock market,
right?
same thing.
It's an initial,
God,
it's a gut reaction initially.
Yeah.
So sellers
Trump
now are like,
Trump dealt with Mexico, great. Stock market goes through the roof. Ooh, Trump did a bad deal in Helsinki. Stock market crashes.
All emotional.
I mean, it's all emotional.
It's all
And when
emotional.
you get emotional about this, it doesn't work. You need to stay strong and steady. And if you're looking for a house to stay in for yourself, it really doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
You got to have a place to live.
So
if you're looking for a place to flip, it really doesn't matter because you're buying it low already and flipping it. And if you're looking for a house to buy and rent and collect income, it really doesn't matter because the income's still coming in, and it doesn't matter unless you sell the place. So if you don't have to sell it and you're looking to invest your money for income, it doesn't matter.
I need people to understand this. There's money to be made in every market.
Yes.
It's in every market. There's money to be made. But if you're buying a house not to make money, let's talk about that. You've been waiting for a situation where interest rates are low. As a buyer, you have leverage, and there's a larger demand to sell houses because there's more listings.
Yes.
This is it. Between now and the buying season in the spring, you have the best opportunity to get the best deal possible. Because I think in the spring, all things considered, if jobs are good and everything and the economy's all right, which I think it's going to be.
Yes.
It's gonna pop again. We're gonna have another seller's market.
I was reading, I think it was Inman News, which is a real estate news. They usually steal stories from elsewhere and then sell them to you. They do.
They do, and you got to pay for it. Yeah.
money to be made in that market.
They're expecting in Michigan to see a 9% increase over this year. I don't know where they're getting their numbers from. I haven't seen the numbers. I just read
values.
Yeah, 9% increase, dude. That's insane.
Well, you got to take in consideration they use Detroit proper for that.
Detroit proper's in it, so is Grand Rapids. I get it.
So let's talk about that. Like Detroit, obviously is blowing up a little bit.
Yeah, it's doing great.
So houses that were like 15,000 are worth 40,000 now.
Worth more than that.
Just
my house is worth $20,000. It's worth $80,000 right now.
Right. So
the numbers are crazy.
You're having massive equity being built in the city of Detroit.
Yes.
Because there's a lot of investors coming in because of the value. It's so easy to get in. The barrier of entry is low, and that's going to continue.
Yes.
As long as Detroit keeps doing well. So
absolutely.
So when you're talking about overall values, yeah, I mean it's all pockets, right? You're not Royal Oak's tapped right now.
Royal Oak's tapped right now. Correct.
Tapped.
Right.
It's not moving. Grand Rapids not tapped.
No.
Grand Rapids is a hot market.
Got
I
plenty
feel
of
like
room.
Grand Rapids has been hot for a while.
It's always been hot, and it's continue to be hot.
Even when the economy was down, the west side of the state, maybe north of
They were
Grand Rapids, like
insulated.
New Haven.
Right.
You're right. It was very insulated.
Insulated.
People and consider it's part of the Bible Belt, so the people out there are a lot more conservative. I mean, you got the DeVosses and you got the what are the Shackley people? Not Shackley.
Amway people.
Amway people. I mean, they're throwing a lot of money into their communities.
Yeah.
But these people, the conservative values they've held has kept them from having as much foreclosure as we've had over here.
Yeah.
So even when our market was destroyed, theirs was barely touched.
Yeah.
It really was.
Yeah.
It was barely touched.
So audience understands if you're listening, and then obviously, you say that to the real estate agents, like, this is time to take a vacation. So I say to the loan officers that possibly listen to our show, that's when you make your paychecks, dude. Because Sal and I, every year during the winter months, that's when we go out and network the shit out of people, create a bigger network for ourselves, create a bigger brand for ourselves.
the following spring.
Yeah, because if we're not working in that wintertime, which most loan officers, everybody sleeps. Everybody falls asleep.
Work when others aren't.
Right. Yeah. So, but we go into high gear. We're doing more meetings. We're meeting with more people because you have bandwidth now as a real estate agent to meet with me.
And you're more relaxed.
Right?
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
relaxed because in the high season, you don't want to sit down with me.
No, you're too busy.
No, you're too busy. You're like, who's this guy calling me? Right?
I just look at a lot of the agents, and you'll see these agents. I'm not going to say who they are, but you know who they are.
All of them.
And they're smoking cigars, and they're drinking whiskey, and they're at parties, and they're on the boat. And it's like, When do you guys work?
No, man.
You know that
No.
I'm not looking for that guy. That's not the guy that I want to hire. I want to hire the guy that knows that it's. And for me, it's hard to take a vacation, especially now that we're in a retail market over the foreclosure market. When I was in the foreclosure market, I was gone all the time, but I had a system in place that worked, and I had the people put in place. But now it's the personal touch. The people want to talk to you. They don't want to deal with a crony that they don't know. They called you. They want to deal with you, or a machine, right? You know,
Press 0.
Yeah, press 0 and an 8-digit extension after you already dialed a 10-digit number to find out who the hell you're going to talk to.
Invalid entry. Start over.
Right.
We'll call you within 48 hours. What? I need an answer now. People don't want that. They want to. That's why we have text messaging. That's why we have email. That's why we have telephone. And people want to know they can get a hold of us.
Listen, guys, no matter where you are and what industry you're in, no matter what it is, in this world, in the world that we live in America, you cannot take your foot off the gas pedal for a moment, because the moment you do, you're back 2 months. It puts you back 2 months.
Yeah.
So let's back to the original topic, which is applications
3
being
questions.
down, right?
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So
Well, we're not there yet.
applications being down, think about it. It really doesn't matter because the mortgage industry is massive. Like it's hard to fathom how big it really is. But there's billions and billions and billions and billions of dollars of mortgages that happen every single day in this country.
Okay, where are you going?
So applications being down, all in my mind, that's just we can get more market share. Right?
It doesn't give it.
People are getting scared. They're going to start whining. They're going to try doing other
the,
things.
The day the market affects me is the day
doesn't
I
matter.
have 80% market share, and
Yeah,
God
it
knows
doesn't
I don't
matter.
own 80%
Yeah,
of the
you
market
don't,
share.
and we won't, and we probably never will. So.
People out there that are saying, "Oh, the market, oh, this is going to be bad." Shut up. Get to work. Increase your
let
market
them
share.
cry, because I'm not crying about it.
No.
We are slower, so what?
Work harder.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
should have played better.
Play better.
I'm leaving here, going to show $1 million house.
Yeah.
Okay. So guess what? I'm not going to sell 5 houses this week, but I'm going to sell $1 million house this week. So I think I'll still make it up. And at the end of the day, network. Let your people know that you're out there. Let them know what you do. Just work hard.
You know a great place you can network at if you're in this industry?
Where?
September 4th.
September 4th.
September 4th. Yeah.
I mean, come on, guys.
Yeah.
All right. I'm putting it in my book, September 4th.
You're not going to come.
No, I will.
No, you're full of shit.
I've got a doctor's appointment I can call right now, cancel it.
You're full of shit.
Stop it.
I'm
Don't be like that.
challenging you.
Okay, I'll be there.
All right, you'll be there?
He won't be
you
there.
I'll
Promise
there.
you?
I'm going to call as soon as I leave here. I'm going to call, delay my appointment by an hour and a half so I can be at that event, and then I'll go to my doctor's.
I love your tits.
I will. God, sick bastard.
What was the second topic you wanted to cover?
3 questions.
questions.
I want to do 3
Oh.
questions. 3 questions. You ready?
I don't know this
Yes,
game.
truth or dare.
All right.
Is this like...
What? What do
Never
you mean?
mind. Go ahead. I don't know what this game is.
Have you ever kissed a man?
No.
Okay, all right.
What do you mean?
I have 3
Yes, you
questions.
have.
Jeez, I mean, I have.
Oh.
I'm Greek. We kiss each other all the time.
I'm Italian. We
A
do- I
1,000 times
kissed
a
you
day.
the other
because
day.
people, it's weird. Like I walk up and say hi to my friends, and we give each other a double
Right,
kiss.
yeah.
And it's like, if you're American and you're like, why are they touching each other? They're
Right.
not, right?
Yeah, they're very homophobic,
Right.
and it's like, why? It
Yeah,
doesn't
I
matter.
don't care about that.
Yeah,
It's
me
just
neither.
crazy. The whole homophobic thing.
I know.
It's just crazy.
Useless.
It's dumb.
Okay, questions. Go.
So questions. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
On your hot dog, mustard, ketchup, or both?
Mustard.
Huh?
Mustard.
Why?
Mustard?
That
Just
doesn't-
mustard.
Just mustard.
Okay.
Yeah.
That speaks volumes.
Why? Bold.
Yeah, I'm the same answer. Why does it speak volumes?
It speaks volumes. Because if you just do mustard, that means that you like things the way you like them, and you don't like to add anything extra on top of it.
Oh, I like it with chili and onions, but you just said you just said mustard,
You
and
just
it's like
blew
not
the
mustard and
speakers
ketchup
off his
because
Blew them,
yeah,
like-
the speaker just blew out poor Jessica's ears.
Jessica's
Just
like-
went. Yeah, I'm a Lafayette Coney Island guy. I like a Coney with the loose hamburger, the chili,
All right.
and the mustard and onions on top.
Next
of
question. You ready?
Oh, yeah.
So this was a big topic on Facebook. A good friend of mine posted this. Is actually our AE at UWM. He posted, "Are scrambled eggs the same thing as an omelet?" It was a huge. There were like 1,000 comments. So are scrambled eggs and an omelet the same thing? The answers were so contradictory to the reality of the answer because I worked in a Coney Island.
Well, I mean, an omelet really
Talking to the mic, man.
an omelet really doesn't have. And I mean, it depends on what kind of omelet you got, but for the most part, an omelet is just eggs dumped in a pan cooked, just like scrambled eggs are dumped in a
So
pan. and cooked.
my point with that is if you have a plain omelet and right, so I order a plain omelet and I order 3 scrambled eggs.
Same thing.
Same thing.
Right.
But an omelet is not the same as a scrambled egg.
Okay, if I get scrambled
Because
eggs with onions in it, or I get an
what
omelet
the hell's
with
a
onions,
plain omelet? Who gets a plain omelet? That's not a
my
thing.
point is, everybody was saying they're different things. They're not
They
different things.
By definition, they are.
They're not.
No.
One is scrambled eggs with shit in it. That's a new name, an omelet. One's just scrambled eggs.
What if I got scrambled eggs with onions in it, and I got an omelet with onions in it? What's the difference?
My mother used to make me scrambled
Before.
eggs with green peppers and onions in it.
That's an egg
Omelets you can buy with green peppers and
Um,
onions in it.
yeah.
It's the same thing.
Yeah. Okay. So next question.
scrambled. One's fancier.
Prediction for the market next year. Are we going to have a healthy market? Are we going to have a down market, or is it going to be an up market?
I think we're going to have a healthy market. I can't tell you on a up market. And my reason being for the up market is I don't believe that we can go up 10% again because we've gone up way too quickly. I think we need slow and steady. We grow at a slow and steady pace. We're okay. I think you said it's a good thing that we go. Excuse me. Whoa.
I think you just had an aneurysm.
I think that if we go into a market with lull expectations, we'll never be disappointed. But I don't want to sound like a loser and say I don't want to say we don't control what happens. But from all indications and all factors, I don't see a sign of us losing, but I don't see a sign of us gaining too much. I don't see a slowdown. I just see a nice steady growth, 2 to 3%.
To go back to my point earlier, I did want to say this. What we're seeing now in the seasonal correction that we're having and the market being where it's at is the healthiest thing that could have happened. We were overheating. Yes. It's like redlining in your car for 2 years. Your engine's going to blow up at some point.
Correct.
Right?
Unless you use Slick 50.
Sure. I use that for
I don't know what that is.
You
but
can
that
run it
sounds-
without oil. See, it's before you were born.
Yeah.
You pour it in the car, you run it, you get rid of it, you drain all the oil, and the Slick 50 stays on. The molecules stay on the parts, and you could run the engine with no oil in it.
I feel like you've used it for other things.
No.
For sure.
So my point is just going back to this, and we'll wrap up because we've got a short show today. The market correction that we're having right now is super healthy. Everybody should be super thankful for it. And what's going to happen is going to be a lot of agents and loan officers in this world that are not going to be able to adjust or adapt to the market. Look,
The purge.
and they're going to fall out, which is good. It's all this is healthy. This is really healthy because had it keep going the way it was going, we would have overheated. We'd have values going up very, very quickly, and we would. It's just like a sugar high.
Then it could have been a crash.
Then it
Correct.
could have been a crash.
Yes.
What we're seeing now is a healthy, natural. It's not being forced by anything. It literally happened on its own. It's very, very organic. It's an organic correction. It's not like the Fed came in and tried to slow it down. Rates are still low, dude.
Yeah, and the Fed's not killing anybody over rates.
Dude,
they know.
Rates are 4.5%,
Right.
brother. Like, guys, if you're looking to buy a house right now, rates are at 4.5%, people.
Depending on qualification.
Right.
Can you refinance my house?
Yeah, I can do anything.
All right.
Do you know who I am?
Yeah, I know who you are.
Yeah. It's pretty good.
You're Paulie P.
Paul Pos. It's A.
I know, but it sounds better with P.
It
His name
does.
Paulie
He's
A.
got a point.
It's so
Paulie
weird
P.
that you say that. 'cause
Paulie
people-
Pasalakis.
That's so weird. All right. So, yeah, man.
Otherwise, you're Paula Pasalakis.
So I agree with you. Stop saying that. Jesus. You completely derailed me. Hold on. Okay, I'm back.
that was easy.
Yeah, that was easy.
You're all over today.
I'm all over, man. We've
all
had a
right.
lot
That's
of crazy days. So long story short, the market is healthy. Next year, I do agree with you. We're going to have a very steady growth. It'll be healthy. I don't think it's going to, like, we might see some corrections. I think we're going to see a correction over the winter. Values are going to kind of level out and kind of stay steady. The higher markets are going to have a harder time. $500,000, $600,000, $700,000 houses. Those houses are going to sit longer than they have in the past. Those aren't moving that much,
Do you think
right?
the stock market's going to have anything to do with this? Because, I mean, we're over 26,000 on the Dow. The NASDAQ hit records 3 times in the last 2 weeks. I mean, do you think that affects us?
No.
Okay, like people pulling the money out to buy a house or something like
Look,
that?
the people that are invested right now are institutional investors. I mean, the layman person maybe has their 401k that they're socked away. A lot of the people buying houses right now are either millennials that are looking to buy their first house or the older generation that's downgrading, right?
Yeah.
You know, the middle of the road, they're just living in their houses, man. They're not really moving that much. Nobody wants to move, right?
I think my biggest factor is our property taxes in Michigan compared to Florida, compared to California. You buy a house,
Nothing.
you buy a house in California, it's 1%. You buy a house in Florida, it's 2%. You buy a house in Michigan, in theory, it's almost 3%.
Yeah. Yeah, our taxes are high.
We're
I don't
ridiculous.
care, though.
But
I
you don't
care.
think that stifles us as
No,
far
no,
as moving up and around?
No, nobody gives a shit because they're looking at their payment. They're like, can I make that payment? It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I don't think that affects us unless you're in like Grosse Pointe. If you're in Grosse Pointe, then
Well, the taxes are lower in Grosse Pointe, but the values are higher, so that's where it goes. Give you an example. You buy a $600,000 house in St. Clair Shores on the lake, right?
yeah,
You're paying
12 G's.
$15,000 a year.
yeah.
And it's like, who wants to spend $15,000 a year living in your own
Well,
house?
that's why those higher price points are having a hard time right now.
That's my point,
Yeah.
because of our taxes.
And also the tax credit right now, you get capped, right? On the taxes.
that's correct. $10,000 is the most you can write off.
Yeah. So
$500,000 mortgage, or $750,000, right? $750,000.
look, as long as we have jobs, we're going to be good.
That's
I
correct.
don't give a shit
And
about
as long as the
anything else.
economy continues on the pace that it's
I
going,
don't give a shit.
I think we're
If
fine.
if I'm buying a $600,000 house, I don't really care if the tax is 15 grand.
Yeah, you do. Everybody cares.
I-
You don't
I-
act like you
me.
think you don't, right?
I mean, it'll bug me, but I'm buying a $600,000 house. That means that house probably has everything I want in a house,
brother.
and I'm probably okay financially.
You've never shopped for a 600. My
I haven't,
my sister-in-law is right now. She's buying a really big house,
Yeah.
and the taxes do come in play. They're like, gee, I've got to pay $30K in taxes.
Yeah, when that I made an offer on a house for 8.25, or $8.35 probably
What's the salary?
6-7 months ago. I mean, it's $18,000
It's
a
a
year.
lot. Some people don't make $18,000 a year.
No,
You
it's,
know what
I mean that's a lot of money for
Crazy
taxes,
to think about.
Yeah,
and it needed $200,000 worth of work. So it was a flipper that I was thinking of moving into, fixing it, living there for a while, selling for $1.2 million, and doing well. But that's a lot of carrying costs. You know,
Yeah.
they hurt you. So.
Real quick, because we got to wrap up. The only X factor I see is our presidency, and if there's a impeachment or something crazy that happens with that. But here's what I think about that. Honestly, the market doesn't care about it all of a sudden.
I don't think so.
They don't give a shit about it.
No.
They actually probably
They're expecting it.
They're expecting it. It's being baked in. They're thinking he's not going to make a full term, and also they're also just looking at policy. The policy is not going to change.
No.
Right. So
The policies are all good.
policies are
His
in.
personal life means nothing.
No, so if he gets impeached, he's out of the market is so prepared for this, and I actually think they might be even like.
Might even be a blip. Would be a great time to go in the stock market when it drops for the day.
They might
Yes.
like it. They might like it because we might pull back some of these tariffs. Because
Right.
the tariffs are some of the things that are hurting us right now.
With this Mexico deal, this could be really good for
It
us.
could be good. We'll see.
And
what
now
happens with that.
Canada's going to come into the back play on it. So
I mean, this guy's a genius, man. I mean, like he's gonna get impeached, and he pulls things out of his ass. It's unbelievable.
yeah, it's like, did you see that movie Wag the Tail?
Yeah.
Or no, it's Wag the Tail.
Wag the Dog.
Wag the dog. Yeah. It's let's distract from what's going on. When
He's a magician.
He's a magician without question.
What he's doing is magical.
Yeah.
And whether you like him or not, you got to respect.
Doesn't
it.
matter if you like him or
No.
not. And I think everybody criticizing Tiger Woods. You at the end of the day, you got to respect the office. End of story. And you got to respect who's in the office because they were voted in. If you don't have a lot of haters, then you're not that successful.
Listen, brother, we have a re-election.
2 years.
If he doesn't get impeached, I say he gets reelected.
Me too.
Yeah,
That's my bet.
Yeah. Come on, liberal. Let's go.
We
Come
don't
on,
have enough time.
You're just
for me.
not really.
We don't have enough time
All
for me
right,
to start.
We're not going to go into that. So, guys,
Jessica's out of here.
Yeah, guys, Jessica's got I don't know, a hair appointment. What do you got
I
going on?
wish.
Yeah.
No, I'm going to look at my new place just to make sure it's
Did you buy-
clean.
did you buy a new place?
You
or
bought a
renting?
house?
No.
I would have
So you
killed
bought a house.
I'm
and
not
did
there
that.
yet.
I was about to flip this table
I
over.
would have just gone nuts. So yeah, thank
But
you
you could
everybody.
buy a house.
She could.
Call us.
You call us.
Okay.
Thank you guys for listening. Obviously, please go on our Facebook page at Omega Lending. We're really proud of our company that we built over the last
You
4.5
guys did a
months.
great job.
Really, really proud of what we're doing. It's been a long road, but I feel like we're just scratching the surface as far as that goes. Go check us out on iTunes. Go to the podcast app. Go to Podcast Detroit. I think we're all over the place, right?
iTunes,
Jessica? iTunes,
Stitcher.
Go to your realtor and ask if they've heard of
SoundCloud.
us.
SoundCloud. We're everywhere, right?
All those places.
All those
the
places.
places where there's podcasts.
We're
We're
there. Yeah. And Podcast Detroit's blowing up. They did an article on Podcast Detroit, which was really, really nice. I forget where it was, but this whole thing that we got going on is pretty good. So really appreciate the listener base. Also, don't forget September 4th, we will be at Hopcat. If you do want to do a lunch and learn, Raffin might be there.
I will be there. I'd love to meet you guys. Come on by.
No strings attached. We're not
No.
selling. It's just
No, we
network.
just want to create a network of people
Yes.
that kick ass. That's it. So thanks for listening, guys. We love you. We're out. Have a wonderful day, Jessica. We love you.
Peace.
Goodbye.
Thanks for having me again.
Yep,
Bye.
bye.
Bye, Jess.
That was like my sex life.